Deputy Minister.
Good morning, Peter, and good morning to all the viewers.
All right, so this commission is not really new. It's been around for some time, I think going back to the 70s, but I guess the bulk of its work in terms of the new dispensation began in 1994. Tell us, what does the body do? What's its purpose?
Look, it's basically a specialist investigation commission to look at aspects of the law and make recommendations to government through the Minister of Justice. So since '94, I mean, one of the aspects is the whole focus of law has changed since '94. There's more of an emphasis on the rights of poorer people, access to justice issues, women, children, those kinds of aspects. One of the requirements is that the Commission has to also look at obsolete and unconstitutional laws. So obviously with the new constitution, there's a lot of contradictions within our law between those that were passed before the constitution came into effect and those after the democratic dispensation.
All right, so we have these new appointments. What can we expect then in the next 5 years?
Look, there are certain reports that haven't been completed, and one is there's a major project of going through the statute books, trying to clean them up, trying to get rid of the obsolete, unconstitutional, outdated laws. Then there's also some investigations that were underway with the previous commission, some of which may be of more topical interest. There's an investigation into the practice of ukutwala. That's the customary practice, mainly from the Eastern Cape, of marrying women when there isn't agreement on lobola. There's an investigation into witchcraft. That's another fairly topical one. And there's one into sex work and whether it should be decriminalized.
All right, so that's looking forward. Perhaps just to give our viewers an indication of some of the successes over time, what perhaps might be some of the major bits of legislation that have changed as a result of the work of the Commission since '94 that we can point to?
Look, because they're a specialist body and they could undergo quite a rigorous process in the investigations, they produce an issue paper which is put out for public comment, a more detailed discussion document, and then finally produce their report with a proposed draft bill. But some of the bills that have been passed recently or are about to be passed, the one is the Commission conducted a report into human trafficking, and that recently has come into law as the Prevention and Combating of Trafficking Act. There's they did a report into stalking, that has become the Protection from Harassment Act. One bill that is still very much in the public domain is the Traditional Courts Bill. That was also the subject of a Commission report in the early 2000s.
And I'm just wondering, we're part of the international community now. Is part of their work also monitoring international developments in terms of international law and how we then can apply our own laws to fit into that?
Well, when they do an investigation, international comparisons are obviously something that they look at. There's a lot we can learn from other countries' experiences. One other bill that's about to be passed, I think this week, finalised by Parliament, is the Protection of Personal Information Bill, which started off as an investigation by the Law Commission into privacy and data protection. And international experiences in that bill were very key, and that's something that the Commission looked at. Maybe one thing just to specify is that they work according to a programme. So they get submissions they get requests from government, they can even have submission suggestions from members of the public, and then draw up a programme which has to be approved by the Minister of Justice, and then they work according to that programme. Even though it's a new commission, most of the research work is done by staff. There are project teams established. So the role of the Commission is really to oversee the work done, to look at the research work done by staff and add value to it.
All right, Deputy Minister, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for talking to us this morning and sharing your thoughts with us on this very important commission and its work. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Peter.